We're in the behind the scenes at Arapahoe Park in the jockey's room with Jockey Kelsi Purcell. Thank you for joining me, Kelsi, and tell us a little bit about where you're from and how you got into riding races.
That's sort of a long story. I'm originally from Western Canada, British Columbia, and I got into riding races because I had been a show jumper, and then my good horse broke down, my sponsor dropped me, and I went to do other jobs, and some people that I'd sold horses to when I was younger found me in a job. And they said, hey, why don't you come get on some race horses, some babies we got. And I said, oh, okay, and I showed up, and I did, and they're like, hey, you look pretty good on one. And so I went to work for some people they knew at the racetrack at Hastings in Vancouver, and it sort of just snowballed from there, where I was ponying, grooming, galloping, whatever they needed me to do. And then I started to work horses, and somebody was like, hey, you should be a jockey, you should try it.
When was this?
That was 2003.
And from doing show jumping to riding racing, what's the difference?
Oh, there's a pretty big difference, because in show jumping, your horses, you're using your legs more, and it's just a different realm of riding, like any kind of riding, from barrel racing, show jumping, to your plain stock horse riding. It's quite different. It's different from galloping. Just galloping a horse is different than race riding a horse. It's a different spectrum you're in. So yeah, it's just different.
So we're sitting in here in the jockey's room. Take us through your preparation. First, I guess, from the handicapping, how you're going to prepare to ride the race, to what you do to actually go onto the track.
I come in, I change, I get my helmet covers ready. I don't let my valet do it. It's something I've always done from the very beginning. A lot of people have their valets do it, but I've always got my first races I do. And then I go prayer with Jonathan, or John Shoemaker. We do prayer in the room. Then I come back, and then I look at the form a little bit. I decide if I'm gonna throw out the horses all of its last races, or I'm gonna look through the other horses and make a completely new plan, or see where he's ran good before. And that's about it.
And then you go to the paddock, and then what conversations do you usually have with the trainer?
It just depends on the horse. Sometimes they'll tell you a lot, and sometimes they won't tell you anything.
Now, you'll have a game plan. You say, oh, I'm gonna ride the horse this way because the race might shape up this way. Do you have to ever call an audible on the track, like a quarterback?
Yeah, of course, because things can happen in a split second out there. Every decision, because when you're riding, you're not just making those decisions going by your plan, because your plan can go out the door right when the gates open. Maybe you're supposed to be on the lead. You're not on the lead anymore, or your horse didn't break good, so then you have to go to your plan B. Or just everything's going wrong, and you just have to deal with the situation at hand. And horses, it goes twice as fast out there, but it goes slower in your mind, because you're predicting what those horses in front of you are doing, or you're predicting what those horses back. So you're setting a pace, or you're sitting off a pace. It all changes every time. It can change. It can be different for that individual horse. And it's funny because it sounds like a lot, but when you're out there, and you've done it enough times, it sort of just comes natural.
And it's all happening with, depending on the breed, the horse going 30 miles an hour
Yeah.
plus.
Oh, yeah.
So that's amazing.
Yeah.
Do you ever have to talk to the jockeys, tell them where you're coming, make room?
Sometimes, yeah, it just depends. Most of the time it's pretty quiet with the talking, and we get a little funny if we're all just dying at the end, and there's a couple, like today I was like, I ran out of gas. I'm on empty now. I was hoping to have a little more in the tank, and that happens too. But yeah.
One of the things that's unique about you is you can ride all three breeds of horses that race at Arapahoe Park: thoroughbreds, quarter horses, Arabians. What does it take to have the skills to do all three breeds?
You just have to be really versatile, because the mares don't go as fast as the thoroughbreds. And the quarter horses, it's such a short deal, and keeping them picked up, and it's just, you gotta be versatile. But that's where my background of rodeoing and show jumping and just riding since I was a kid makes it pretty, that's what I wanna say, it helps you in that, because you can change your ride to the horse, to what's going on underneath you, because not every horse is the same. You can't do the same ride on every single horse.
Can you describe what that feeling is like when you're on the best horse and everything's going to plan?
Oh, I guess, how would I describe it? Feels like your birthday, like, and all your friends are partying there. Like, it's good. It's a good feeling. I don't know how to describe it any other way. Like, it's a great feeling. Because if you're competitive, like, I'm competitive and I love to win, so I love to win.
Which of those horses have given you that feeling the best, the best horses you've ridden?
There's not just one. There's like Paddy's Days, obviously, for the Arabs.
The horse of the year for Arabians.
Yeah, he's just an amazing horse, and I'm so thankful that, you know, Scott's given me the opportunity to continue with him and stuff. And he definitely gives you that feeling because he tries 110% every time when you ask him. And you have to ask him. Everyone thinks he just goes, but he can be where you need to ask him. But when he's doing it, he's trying. He tries. And so he's a good one. And then for my quarter horses, Il Chickawawa, I always loved riding her because she gave 110% every time she ran, every time. For thoroughbreds, there's been several because I've been lucky to ride some pretty nice thoroughbreds in some graded stakes races and done really good. And even if you don't win, you're on second, it still feels really good.
So for Paddy's Day, you win a lot of big races, and one of the races you get to go to is in Abu Dhabi.
Yeah.
What was the experience like riding in Abu Dhabi in a €1 million race with Arabian racing being really at the center of that culture?
It was, everybody there was amazing. The people, the sheiks, everybody was just so friendly, and it was a really great experience. And it was awesome to ride with so many amazing riders from all over the world, because, you know, we had people from France, England, Africa, like everywhere around the world. So that was pretty cool to ride with them.
With the jockeys there from all around the world, did you talk to them and did you share? Is there a different riding style, for example, that you see the French jockeys using versus the United States?
Well, yeah, because they have a little more European style. But,
which means?
They do, I don't know, how do they describe it? I want to say they jump around more, but they're very, like, they use their bodies a lot more. But
so
those
more
guys,
active in the saddle.
Yeah, a lot more active in the saddle. But everything's pretty much the same, because those guys have been everywhere too. It wasn't like they'd never been anywhere. Those guys go all over the world riding.
The Darley Awards, that's the award show for the top Arabian horses and jockeys and trainers and owners. And you were a Darley Award winner. What Darley Award did you win?
I won North American Jockey of the Year.
Top Arabian Jockey of the Year. So after all the work that went into it.
A lot of work went into it. A lot of traveling. I went everywhere last year. I went a lot of different places. Plus, I won the Sheikh Mansour Fitma International Female of the World. I won the international award too.
So the top female Arabian jockey, not
in
just
the world.
The United States, but the top jockey in the United States for Arabians and the top female jockey for
out of
Arabians
86 countries.
In the whole world.
Yeah, out of 86 countries, I won that too, which was really unexpected. They say they never nominated it. Like, sometimes the U.S. people get nominated, but it was a real honor to win that.
We have a guest here in the interview. Who is this?
That's Daisy.
Daisy,
That's my
come
dog.
on up here.
Come here. Jump, jump. Jump, jump.
Hi, Daisy.
Daisy goes everywhere with me.
About all your travels. So tell us about some of the places where you and Daisy have been. Maybe some of the more, you've been here in Colorado, but some of the crazier adventures that you've had. Sunland in New Mexico.
Houston, Lone Star. Where else is Daisy? Daisy didn't get to go to California. That's about it. She's in here, like a lot here. Where else is Daisy? She's probably gone some other places I can't think of. But yeah, she pretty much goes everywhere with me.
To be a female jockey in a sport that's mostly men, how do you hold your own?
I think I've always felt like most of the guys respect me, so it's not even a female male thing for me, because in horse riding it's always been like that. It's always been a female male thing, and you're usually the minority. Like, the higher level you go in riding, in any riding, as a woman, you're usually the minority, because there's a lot of great male rodeo guys and there's a lot of great male show jumpers. Mm-hmm. So it's never bothered me.
It's a sport. It's one of the only sports where males and females can compete on the same
level.
And
Equally.
you've definitely held your own.
Yeah. No, I've been really lucky. I wouldn't say I'm like the greatest winner or greatest rider ever, but I've always been consistent. I'm consistent in the money. I don't always get to ride the best horses, but I pull a rabbit out of my hat on some of them long shots, and no, I've been really lucky.
When you first started with the show jumping, did you have expectations of where you'd be?
Well, I wanted to be in the Olympics. That was one thing, and that's still a dream. I'd still like to go.
For
yeah, for
no
show
kidding,
jumping.
wow.
Yeah, because I know people that are 60 years old and that was their first Olympics as a show jumper. So yeah, no, there's still time. There's still time. Yeah, I would love to do that.
So then to race riding, what were your expectations when you went into race riding?
Oh, I think like anybody, everyone wants to win the Kentucky Derby. Me, of course, I'm like, I want to win the All-American. Like any of those, any big races, those are your dreams. That's where you want to get to, is you want to go and ride those big races, because that's what makes or breaks you, your career. Because you see a lot of guys that they never make it and you wonder why they keep going. But it's that drive for those bigger races, because they still have that hope that they'll get there.
And you're on your way, you're conquering different aspects of horse riding, top of the Arabian world.
Yeah, that wasn't really a plan, but yeah, it was great. I'm happy I did it, because it was something I wanted to do.
Well, we'll be following. Thank you for allowing us into the behind the scenes
thank you.
and following your race riding career, and then we'll be following your show jumping career and
hope
expecting
so.
bigger and bigger things
Yeah.
from you and especially from Daisy.
Daisy.
You got that? All right, we're good.